What's happening, YouTube? Welcome back. This is a 4-player fixed cards game for my league in the Risks4EVER community server on Discord. This was one of those most important games for me in particular because I ended up winning it and it helped me to win the tournament and get the prize, which wasn't a cash prize, but it was a decent amount of coins that I can use for purchasing stuff online, like gift cards and stuff. So I thought it was pretty interesting that there was something like that in this. So anyways, back to the gameplay. In the beginning of this match, I decided that I should move out from Australia and then give it to purple. And the reason for that is that I don't want to fight with purple over it. And later on in the game it came in handy when I wanted to team up with purple against one of the players. So this is a tip that you can do, is try to be an ally to your opponent in the beginning of the game, because you never know when it can come in handy later on and be useful when trying to deal with the rest of the players. So the purple player is able to get Australia, and then white, after I allianced with him, decided to move his troops out from Africa. And I decided to send him a few different emojis to try to send him the message that I want to capture it, and fortunately for me he understood it, and he also was willing and able to do it. And now I'm able to capture Africa. So the position on this board in the current state is black and purple are equalized, and then I'm getting a little bit more. Not that it matters, that one extra troop is not going to be too much of an advantage, but it's still good in the beginning regardless to have a continent and not be like white, because white is the weakest, or one of the weakest, in that he doesn't have a continent. So most likely he's the one that's going to be taken out, and that's exactly what we are doing right now. We're teaming up against the weakest player to not prolong the 4-player fixed cards game. So because white didn't have a set at 4, I decided that it's time for me to take him out for his cards. And I noticed that before doing that move, after taking out the white player, I won't break the balance of the game, and that's really important, because if you do that, take out the weakest player and then end up being so weak that somebody else can just take you out and win the game, then obviously you shouldn't do that. But I already considered that and took that into account and realized that after taking him out, I'm still going to be strong enough to where black and purple won't be powerful enough to win the game. Now is when you need to be the most careful. If you be too passive when somebody is strong and powerful, then the powerful one will win. If you attack too much and weaken someone too much, then the other player will win. And you need to be very careful with how you decide what you do each turn in 3 players. Another strategy tip is if you can get both of the Americas and your ally can get Africa and Europe, then you can start attacking the Australia player and using the strategy, the trapping strategy, where you equally attack the Australia player and then are able to take him out. One of you can take him out, and then you guys can start fighting on a 1 versus 1 after that. That's what most, or at least a lot of these fixed cards games end up being, especially when you know somebody who knows that strategy. So because I know that these players know the strategy, the trapping strategy, I decided to try it with the black player by taking both of Africa and Europe and then getting ready to attack purple. But purple was smart enough to realize that we were going to do that, and then he actually invaded both of us and then took down a couple of our big armies. If he hadn't done that, then he would have ended up losing the game, so that was the correct move. That's how you counter the toxic strategy where people team up on you in Australia. So after Purple decided to do that, I decided that I should take over Australia and then switch positions with him. Because I'm not going to get my continent back with him having his army in Africa, and if I decide to attack him, obviously Black is going to win. So instead of that, I took over the only free continent in Australia. The Black player decided to recapture South America. Purple decided to capture Africa, and now I didn't want them to get too strong, and I didn't want the game to stalemate either, so that's why I decided to attack and try to make something happen. But unfortunately for me, obviously the Black player decided to regain what he lost, and so did Purple. So I continue my attacks, just trying to make Purple attack the Black player, being that Black is the strongest one, getting the most troops per turn. And I continue trying to make Purple attack Black, but he didn't want to do it, so then I tried to make Black attack Purple. And fortunately for me, he's a much better ally, and we ended up working together to team up against Purple. And I realized that it's okay for me to let Black hold on to all of his stuff because he's still not the strongest. So I decided to keep my alliance with him and not attack him, and continue attacking Purple so that we can try to weaken him, and then one of us takes him out, and then we end up playing in the 1 versus 1 after that. So the circumstances of this match made it so that it's much more favorable for me to ally with Black than Purple, because Purple wasn't helping me while Black was. And as a result of that, I decided to team up with Black against Purple rather than the vice versa of that. And I ended up capturing Europe along the way, just to try to start making more troops. As you can see, I'm already getting 11, and I traded in a set, so I'm gonna start making a lot of troops. As long as neither of them invades me or attacks me, I will be able to prevail over both of them and get more than both of them combined, and then eventually take them both out. If not in a single turn, in a couple of turns for sure. In fact, it's already getting very close to being game over. And now that neither of them are getting any sets on 4, it's my chance to win the game. On this turn, I decided to take out Purple, and then along the way take out some territories of Black before being able to fully take him out. Take out Purple first, being that he was weaker. He had 4 cards, so I can trade in 2 sets, get 20 or so troops, attack his main army, get the advantage, the attacker's advantage, take some more territory, and win the game. There's nothing that Black can do. He can trade in his sets at 5, but he didn't get the best set possible. And at this point in the game, it's impossible for him to win even with the sets. He just doesn't have enough troops to follow up with breaking my stuff and taking my territory. It doesn't matter, because all I have to do is break him once, and I'm getting more than him each turn. I also have more troops than him, more territories, everything is in my favor. So it's just a matter of time before I end up winning this one. And that set just solidified the game in my favor. I ended up capturing Australia, capturing South America, taking territory in Africa, and taking territory in North America and Europe, leaving him only in Asia. So now on his turn, he just decides to try one last time with the set. invade me into North America, South America, Africa, Europe, almost into Australia, but at this point it's game over. He says good game, and I can finally take him out on the next turn. And this game was crucial in my eventual win in the tournament because I ended up getting 10 points for this win. And then in the next game I got another 10 points and I ended up winning the tournament.